A businessman drove up to the countryside to stay at a secluded inn and get away from the rat race for a little while. The receptionist gave him the keys to cabin 10. Before he set off for the cabin, the receptionist warned him to stay away from the nearby cabin 11. The man asked why, but the receptionist simply ignored him and told him never to go inside. Once inside his cabin, the man glanced out the window to see cabin 11. It looked fairly normal from the outside. Suspecting that the inn's proprieties may be trying to cover something up, the man decided to check it out while it was still day. To his surprise, the door was open. Inside, the cabin seemed pretty average. The bed was messy and unmade, and there was a knife scratch on the window in the shape of an X. But aside from that, there was very little separating cabin 11 from his own. The perplexed man's thoughts were interrupted by a thumping sound underneath his feet. He jumped back in shock and listened more closely. It was a rhythmic banging sound that reverberated through the cabin. Thump, 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 and it was getting louder. Freaked, the man ran back into the early evening sun and slammed the door behind him. He dashed back to his cabin and locked his door. Whatever was in that cabin, he didn't want to meet it. The man slept poorly that night, the experience haunting his dreams. After a few hours, he woke up to hear the very same noise, presumably coming from cabin 11. He told himself it was okay, that his door was locked, and that he could just leave this place tomorrow. Thump, thump, thump. He pulled the covers up to his face, breathing deeply. The sound was louder and more resonant now than ever before. The man kept his eyes squeezed shut. Thump, thump, thump. The man waited and waited, but the noise wouldn't go away. It only got more and more overwhelming, making the bed's frame vibrate. Thump, thump, thump. With his face peeking over the sheets, the man, unable to resist, opened one eye to see cabin 11 through the window. The image he saw burned into his mind. His window with a knife scratch in the shape of an X. The door swung open and the thumping stopped.